Today, we're not talking about productivity tips. We are going to fundamentally redesign your day from the ground up. We're going to build a morning that makes focus and deep work totally inevitable. And it all comes down to one thing: the lead domino. That single, tiny choice at the start of your day that dictates everything else that follows. Let's dive in.
Get this. The reason your productivity collapses by noon isn't a lack of discipline. It's because you lost the most important battle of the day before you even got out of bed. Now that's the paradox we're digging into. We think high performance is about being a hero in the afternoon, but the real science shows it's all about being an architect in the morning.
So here's our game plan. First, we're going to diagnose the real problem, what I call the midday collapse and the decision fatigue spiral. Then we get to the good stuff, building the solution with the momentum protocol. We'll look at the science behind why it works, and then create a dead simple plan for your first 60 seconds. And finally, we're going to completely redefine what productivity even means.
Okay, let's start with this big idea, the midday collapse paradox. It's this wild, counterintuitive truth that your day isn't a bunch of separate battles. It's actually one single battle, and it's either won or lost right at the very beginning. That first choice you make, it's the commander that tells all the other choices where to go. Now, this all boils down to a concept from behavioral science called path dependency. You see, your brain is, at its core, a consistency machine. It absolutely craves alignment. So when you make that very first choice of the day, you're not just doing one thing, you are setting what's called a neural trajectory. You're literally telling your brain, hey, this is the kind of day we're having, this is our standard, and every single choice after that is going to try to stay consistent with that first one. And this slide really lays out the two roads you can take every morning. On the left, you've got the intentional start. Just one deliberate choice kicks off a momentum cascade. It makes deep work feel like the most natural thing in the world. But on the right, well, that's the reactive start. We all know this one, right? You grab your phone and bam, your brain is instantly in passive mode. From that point on, every single task is high friction. You're fighting yourself just to do the basic.
And that reactive start, it leads to an even bigger problem: the decision fatigue spiral. Now, this isn't just about feeling a little tired. No. This is the strategic draining of your most valuable mental resource. That reactive morning has a massive hidden cost that just builds and builds.
So I want you to ask yourself and be really honest here. Where does your absolute best energy go? You know, that first hour when your brain is sharpest? Are you investing that energy, or are you just spending it? See, we all wake up with a finite amount of what you could call decision capital. A reactive morning is like taking that capital and just lighting it on fire.
This chart, wow, it really visualizes the disaster of a reactive morning. Most of us, and I mean most of us, spend 80% of our peak mental energy on low-value, reactive junk, like emails and notifications. That leaves a measly 20% for the deep, focused work that actually moves the needle in our lives. We're giving our best to the urgent and our leftovers to the important. It's completely backward.
And the cost is absolutely staggering. Research shows our decision quality can plummet by over 50% as the day wears on. So think about that. Every tiny wasted choice in the morning, what to wear, what to eat, which email to check first, is actively stealing clarity from your afternoon. You're borrowing focus from your future self, and believe me, the interest rates are brutal.
And here's the truly dangerous part. When you start your day reactively, you are training your brain to be a follower, not a leader. You're literally conditioning it to wait for external pings instead of executing on your own plan. This creates this constant background friction, making every task feel heavier, and it leads to that awful feeling of being super busy, but totally stagnant.
Okay, enough of the problem, right? It's a system problem, so it needs a system solution. Let's get to the fix. And I want to be clear, this is not a list of tips. This is the Momentum Protocol, an engineering system designed to create automated, effortless focus.
This protocol has three simple but incredibly powerful phases. First, we have the zero option start. That's all about engineering your environment. Second is the micro-win anchor, where we plant the tiny seed of control. And third, the sequential lock, where we build a bridge that connects that small win directly to our most important work. This is how we make success a biological certainty.
Phase 1 is the zero option start. This is all about something called choice architecture. Look, instead of trying to rely on willpower when you wake up, which is a battle you will lose, you make the decision the night before. You literally structure your environment so the right choice isn't just the easy choice, it's the only choice available. You remove any possibility of negotiating with that tired, groggy version of yourself.
Next up, Phase 2, the micro-win anchor. This is where you do one tiny, undeniable task that lines up with your ideal self. We're talking making the bed, doing 10 push-ups, whatever. The task itself is almost irrelevant. You know what matters? The signal. The signal it sends to your nervous system that says, I am in control. I do what I say I'm going to do. This right here, this is the lead domino.
And finally, Phase 3 is the Sequential Lock. This is the crucial link that ties it all together. It's a simple if-then bridge that you decide on beforehand. If I finish my coffee, then I open the project file. You don't let that awesome momentum from your micro-win just fade away. You use that inertia to launch you right into your deep work. You're not starting a cold engine. You're just shifting gears in a car that's already rolling.
So, why does this whole system work so ridiculously well? Well, it's not magic. It's pure neurobiology. Let's dive into the science of winning, because once you understand the why behind this, it's going to lock this practice in for good. You'll see it's not just some nice idea, it's literally how your brain is designed to operate.
So what's actually happening in your brain? Well, all these forces start stacking on top of each other. First, you trigger something called the winner effect. One small win primes your brain to expect the next one. That intentional choice also gives you a little pulse of dopamine, the motivation molecule. This leads to what we call cognitive ease. Your brain now wants to follow the path of least resistance, which is to keep winning. The result? You are chemically priming yourself for success, making you more resilient to stress, and literally making hard work feel easier.
So, what this gives us are two completely different ways to work. On the left, you've got the old way, spending willpower. It's like pushing a car uphill all day. It's high friction, constant restarts, and it's just draining. But on the right, that's the new way, riding momentum. This path feels like an effortless flow. It actually builds on itself, and here's the crazy part. It's energizing. You can finish your most important work with more energy than when you started.
And this quote just captures the entire mindset shift perfectly. I want you to stop thinking about productivity as something you have to spend willpower on. With this protocol, you're not spending anything. You are riding a biological wave of momentum that makes focus feel absolutely effortless. You're using your brain's natural wiring to your advantage, finally.
All right, we've covered the theory, we've covered the science. Now for the fun part. Let's build a real, actionable plan. This is where we go from knowing to doing. Here's your practical guide to architecting your first 60 seconds, and you can start tonight. Here's your night before setup. It's so simple. Step 1, design your zero-option environment. Put your workout clothes right by your bed, put your journal and a pen on your pillow, make the right choice unavoidable. Step 2, define your 60-second anchor. What is the one tiny win you can guarantee? 1 minute of journaling, 1 glass of water. Make it so small it's almost funny. And step 3, set your next step bridge. Say it out loud. After I make the bed, I will open my laptop to the project file. Get specific. And remember, the entire point of this whole setup, all 3 steps, is to achieve one single goal. You have to kill the internal negotiation before it can even start. You know that little debate in your head, should I? Nah, maybe later. Just 5 more minutes. That conversation right there, that is the entire game. This protocol is designed to make that conversation impossible. And this right here, this is your new identity. You're not the hero who has to muscle through a tough afternoon anymore. Nope, you are the architect who designs a morning that guarantees success. The real work is done before the day even gets going.
So let's bring this all home with one central idea: productivity without negotiation. This isn't just a clever takeaway, it is the entire point. It's finally understanding that your day is not won in the afternoon grind. It's decided with total finality in the first 10 minutes. Just look at this comparison. Willpower is a limited resource that feels like a constant fight. It's what you use when you don't have a system. But momentum, that's self-generating. It feels like an effortless ride. And it's for people with a plan. It's for architects.
Now let this sink in, because this redefines everything. Productivity is not about your to-do list. It's not a measure of how much you do. It is a measure of how fast you can stop arguing with yourself. The absence of that internal negotiation, that is the true metric of a high performer.
And that's the bottom line. Your brain is an engine of inertia. If you start the day in neutral, you will stay in neutral, and every challenge will feel like an impossible hill. But if you start in gear, if you win that first 60 seconds, the hill just becomes irrelevant. The momentum is yours. So design your zero-option start tonight. Win the first minute tomorrow, and then just watch as the rest of the day falls perfectly into place.